We're going to take a look at direct variation, inverse variation, and joint variation. You might be wondering why we're looking at this in the context of rational functions and expressions like we have been in this chapter. But if you consider an inverse variation function, which is typically written in the form of x equaling a number, or x times y equaling a number, or y equaling k divided by x, well, when you have it written as y is equal to some number, say 2 over x, it's actually a rational function. Now, with inverse variations, basically as one number goes up, the other number goes down, or vice versa. Your k right here is referred to as your constant of proportionality. Now, let's talk about direct variation. If you have a circle and you increase your radius, you know your circumference gets larger. Or if the circumference would get smaller, you know the radius would have to get smaller. So in other words, the circumference of a circle varies directly to your radius. Direct variation, once again, as one increases, the other increases, or vice versa. All direct variation functions are really special linear functions with a y-intercept of 0. So instead of having y equals mx plus b, it's just like y equals mx. However, in the context of proportions, we don't use m, we use k, where k is referred to as your constant of proportionality, but it's in the same location as your m for your slope. Now, here are the steps for solving variation problems. You want to write out the general equation, substitute in your given information to solve for k, write the particular equation, in other words, that's equation 1 with the value of k from equation 2, or step 2 put in there, and then sometimes you'll have a fourth step, sometimes you won't, where you have to go ahead and answer the question. So here it says y varies directly to x. Direct variation means your x has to be on top. So you're going to go y equals, you're always going to then, after the equals, have a constant of variation. Directly to x means it's not in the denominator. If it was inversely, it would be in the denominator. This is your general equation. We're now going to go ahead and take our given information right here. We're going to plug that in for our x and our y. Then we're going to go ahead and solve it for k, and in this case we get k to be a negative 3. We're now going to take this value of k right here, and we're going to plug it in right here. So we get y is equal then to a negative 3x. Sometimes you'll be done at this step. However, you'll notice up above here, you're asked to find y when x is 3. If you have this extra part where you need to find something like this, then you're going to use this equation right here, the particular equation, plug in your x value, and then solve it for y, and in this case you get y to be a negative 9. Over here we have y varies jointly to x and z. Jointly is typically a direct variation, so you're going to go y equals, because it says y here, varies, so it's y equals. Always have your constant of proportionality to x and z, so they're both hanging out there together. Then you want to go ahead and plug in your given information. This is your given information right here. It's not the first things that are occurring. The first part right here is really the question, which is kind of like what we had over here in orange. So they may switch it up on you. So you plug in your y being 12. We don't know k. Plug in your x being 3. Plug in your z being 8. Solving it for k, dividing by 24, you end up getting k to be a half. Then remember, for your third step, you take this value of k and plug it into your original top equation. So you have y is equal to k, which is 1/2, xz. Now you can go ahead and try to answer the question of finding y when you know what x and z are. So you want to plug those values in. So you go y is equal to your k value. Then it says x is 10 up here in orange, and then it says your z is 5. So you plug that in. Then half of 10 you know is 5 times your other 5 is a total of 25. Here it says y, or not y, a varies inversely to b. So you know you're going to go a Varies means you're going to go equals with your constant of proportionality here. Inversely to b. Inversely means you need to put that in the denominator, so you're going to put b down in the bottom. So here's your general equation. Substitute in your given information of a being a negative 6, b being a 2. Find your k, and you get k to be negative 12. Because to undo your dividing by 2, you got to multiply both sides by 2. Take this negative 12 right here, plug it into the red equation, you get y, or a is equal to a negative 12 times, or divided by b. Then go ahead and answer what they want you to do. They want you to plug in b being negative 7 so you can find out what a is. So you take your green equation, plug in your negative 7, and you get a to be 12 sevenths. Same approach over here. Y varies directly to x, so you know it's going to be y equals with your constant of proportionality. Directly means it's not in the denominator, so you're going to put x there. Plug in your given information right here at the end, y being 12, x being negative 3. Divide by your negative 3 to find k, to get k to be negative 4. Then you want to go ahead and rewrite your red equation with the new value in there. Then you want to go ahead and answer the question of finding y when x is 7. So plug 7 into the green equation. And then you get negative 28. Suppose y varies jointly to x and z. So you're going to go y equals, then you got to have your constant of proportionality. These are direct variation ones. When there's more than one, it's referred to as a joint. Plug in your given information. Nope, I see we got a typo here. That should be a lowercase w. So here's your given information. Plug that in for your z, x, and y, so you can find k. Solving it for k, then you get k to be 1/10. Rewriting the red equation with the 1/10 put in there. Now you can go ahead and answer what it is you're trying to do, trying to find y when x and z are 3 and 2. So you plug in your 3 and your 2, using your 1/10 in front for k, and you get 3/5 or 0.6. Whether it's a decimal or a fraction doesn't make a difference. The last one here, we want to go ahead, and it says a varies inversely to b, so you know it goes a equals with your constant of proportionality. Inverse means the b's got to go in the denominator, so we'll put b in the bottom. Then you have your given information that you want to go ahead and plug in. Solving it for k, you get k then to be a negative 24. Replace your k right here with that negative 24. Then go ahead and answer what you're being asked to do, and that's to find your a value when b is 6. Negative 24 over 6 is a negative 4.